Forget everything you think you know about angels. The images ingrained in our collective consciousness, the beautiful men with bird wings, the chubby infants floating on clouds are not divine revelations. They are artistic sanitizations. They are filters designed to protect the human mind from a reality so alien, so terrifyingly complex, that to look upon it directly is to risk madness. When the prophets of old Ezekiel, Isaiah, Daniel encountered the heavenly host, they did not smile. They fell to their faces in terror. They described beings of fire, of spinning geometry, of eyes that saw timelines simultaneously. These were not mere messengers. They were cosmic entities of terrifying power. The Bible does not describe a singular, uniform race of beings. It describes a complex military and administrative hierarchy, a bureaucracy of light divided into 9 distinct orders, from the foot soldiers of reality to the burning singularities that orbit the very throne of the monad. To understand them is to understand the architecture of the universe itself, but to understand them, we must look beyond the Sunday school curriculum. We must open the forbidden texts, the Book of Enoch, and the ancient treatises of Pseudo-Dionysius, the Areopagite, to reveal the true face of the divine. We are about to ascend the 9 rungs of the ladder, from the entities that whisper in your ear to the ones that burn with the heat of 1,000 suns. Welcome to the true hierarchy of heaven, the third sphere, the cosmic interface. Before we ascend to the throne, we must start in the trenches. The ancient mystics divided the 9 choirs of angels into 3 spheres. The lowest sphere is the one that interacts with humanity. These are the operatives in the field. Level 1. Angels, the Malachim, the first level. The infantry. The Hebrew word is malach, meaning simply messenger. In the epistle to the Hebrews, Te'arikayet, ministering spirits. But do not mistake servant for weakness. In the Book of 2 Kings, a single angel kills 185,000 Assyrian soldiers in one night. These beings act as the interface between the spiritual and physical dimensions. They are the ones who nudge reality. Consider the concept of the Guardian Angel, while not explicitly named as a doctrine in Protestant Canaan. Jesus mentions in Matthew 18 that the little ones have angels who behold the face of the Father. In the apocryphal text, the Shepherd of Hermah, distinct instructions are given on how to discern the presence of this guiding spirit versus a malevolent attachment. They are the subtle intuition, the coincidence that saves a life, the unseen hand. Level 2. Archangels, the strategy commanders above the infantry. Stand the commanders. The Archangels. The prefix arch in Greek means ruling or chief. The canonical Bible is conservative, naming only Michael. But when we look into the Book of Tobit and the Book of Enoch, the war room expands. We see Gabriel, the master of transmission, the one who brings news that alters time. We see Raphael, the healer, who binds demons in the Upper Egypt. And we see Uriel, the fire of God, the guardian of the gates of Eden. But look at Michael. In Jude 1-9, we see a glimpse of cosmic jurisprudence. Michael contends with Satan over the body of Moses. This isn't a sword fight, it's a legal dispute. Michael represents the supreme authority of divine law. In Revelation 12, he is the general who evicts the dragon from the higher dimensions. Archangels are not just powerful, they are strategic. They appear when the fate of nations or the timeline of salvation hangs in the balance. Level 3. Principalities. The rulers of nations now. We cross a terrifying threshold. Level 3. The Principalities. The Archi. These are not concerned with individuals. They are the patrons of nations, the guardians of geography, the spirits behind empires. In Daniel 10, we see the curtain pulled back on geopolitics. Daniel prays, and an angel is delayed for 21 days fighting the prince of Persia. This prince was not a human king. It was a fallen principality, a dark spiritual governor ruling over the Persian Empire. This aligns with the Deuteronomy 32 worldview, the ancient belief that God divided the nations according to the number of the sons of God. Some principalities fell, becoming the gods of the pagan world: Zeus, Marduk, Baal. They are the architects of culture, ideology, and national identity. When you see a nation descend into collective madness, or rise in inexplicable righteousness, you are watching the influence of a principality. They are the interface between the spiritual atmosphere and political reality. The second sphere, the governors of creation, we leave the atmosphere of Earth. We enter the second sphere. These beings do not deal with humans. They deal with the physics of the universe itself. Level 4. Powers the potestas. Te powers. Te exos. If principalities are the politicians, powers are the police force, and the laws of physics combined, they are the border guards of reality. Paul speaks of them in Colossians 1:16 as part of the fundamental creation. In the ancient Gnostic and Jewish mystic understanding, the powers are the entities that keep the cosmos from dissolving into chaos. They maintain the orbits of planets, the laws of gravity, the separation of dimensions. They are warriors, depicted in tradition as wearing armor, because they are constantly holding back the forces of entropy and darkness. When a power falls, it becomes a power of darkness, mentioned in Ephesians 6. A fallen power doesn't just tempt a person, it distorts the natural order, creating environments where evil becomes systemic, where the very laws of morality and nature seem to invert. They are the sentinels of the boundary between the demonic and the human. Level 5. Virtues. The dynamos. Level 5. The virtues. The dynames. The root word gives us dynamite and dynamic. They are raw power. Virtues are the mechanics of miracles. When the laws of physics maintained by the powers need to be overridden for a divine intervention, the virtues act. They are the lightning rod. When Jesus walked on water, when the sun stood still for Joshua, when the Red Sea parted, this was the work of the virtues injecting higher dimensional energy into our three-dimensional reality. They are not messengers. They are the batteries of the cosmos. Level 6. Dominions. The lords at the top of the second sphere sit the dominions. They are the lords. They do not work. They do not fight. They command. Visualize them not as winged humans, but as beings of intense, golden gravity. They hold the scepter and the orb. Their job is to regulate the duties of the lower angels. They are the middle management of the divine will. They receive the intent of the monad and translate it into actionable orders for the virtues and powers. They represent the absolute sovereignty of God. They are the realization that the universe is not a democracy. It is a kingdom. The first sphere. The throne room now. We approach the event horizon. The first sphere. These beings exist in a state of existence so intense that they would incinerate a human soul. They never leave the presence of God. Level 7. Thrones the Ophanim. Level 7. The thrones. But do not picture a chair. The Hebrew term is Ophanim. The wheels. Ezekiel 1:15 describes them. Wheel within a wheel, covered in eyes, burning like beryl, moving with lightning speed without turning. Why wheels? Because they are the chariot of God. They represent the point, where the stillness of the Creator meets the movement of creation. And the eyes? Full of eyes round about. This is not biological. This represents omniscience. They are the window through which God witnesses his creation. They are the executors of divine justice. When you stare into the abyss, the Ophanim are the ones staring back. They are the living, spinning geometry of God's will. Level 8. Cherubim. The guardians. Level 8. The cherubim. Erase the image of the baby with a bow and arrow. That is a Renaissance lie. The biblical cherub is a creature of cosmic horror and majesty. In Genesis, they guard Eden with a spinning sword of fire. In Ezekiel, they are the tetramorph. 4 faces. The face of a man, humanity. The face of a lion, wild beasts. The face of Enoch's domesticated beasts. The face of an eagle, birds of the air. They represent all sentient life in creation, unified in worship. They are the platform upon which Yahweh sits. In the Ark of the Covenant, God speaks from between the cherubim. Why? Because they mark the boundary between the profane and the holy. They are the radiation shielding. They protect creation from being consumed by the raw holiness of the Creator. To approach the cherubim unauthorized is to court death. Level 9. Seraphim. The burning ones, we have reached the apex. Level 9. The Seraphim. The Hebrew root seraph means to burn. It also, disturbingly, shares a root with fiery serpent. Isaiah 6 is our only glimpse. 6 wings. 2 to fly. 2 to cover their feet, humility. And 2 to cover their faces. Why cover their faces? Because even they, the highest beings in existence, cannot look directly at the essence of the monad. They do not work. They do not govern. They exist in a perpetual loop of realization. Bekre, kadosh, kadosh, kadosh. Holy, 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 holy. They are acoustic resonance chambers. They vibrate with the frequency of the divine so intensely that they catch fire. They are the closest things to God that can exist without becoming God. They are the ultimate reality of love, a love so fierce it consumes everything that is not itself. Why does this ancient hierarchy matter today? Because the structure hasn't changed. The costumes have. We look at the world and see chaos. We see governments, corporations, algorithms, and ideologies. But if you look with the eyes of the ancients, you see the principalities and powers. What is a multinational corporation that operates beyond the law, influencing millions, if not a modern vessel for a principality? What is the algorithm that shapes human behavior, if not a mechanical reflection of the throne's wheels within wheels, full of eyes, watching us? We are living in a spiritual ecosystem. The powers that guard the laws of nature are being tested by our tampering with the genetic code. The principalities are raging in the geopolitical wars of our century. The Apostle Paul warned us that we do not wrestle against flesh and blood. He was telling us that the systems we fight, systemic injustice, tyranny, corruption, are merely the shadows cast by these colossal spiritual entities. But there is a final, terrifying twist to this hierarchy. The texts hint that one of the highest beings, a cherub of supreme beauty, possessed music within his very structure. He walked among the stones of fire. He was the covering cherub. And he looked at this perfect order, this hierarchy of submission, and he asked a question that shattered the cosmos. Why so when I can rule? The rebellion of the dragon, the fall of the morning star. We have seen the order of heaven, but to truly understand the war we are in, we must understand the fracture. In the next episode, we will descend. We will profile the entity who tore a third of the stars from the sky. We will analyze the psychology of the first rebel, Lucifer. Until then, look at the sky. You are not alone, and the universe is much, much fuller than you dare to imagine.